Din, 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 din. Hello, boils and ghouls. It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And listen, kiddies, you are entering Cinema Chop Shop.
The Cinema Chop Shop.
What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. While you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. I know you guys ain't seen me in a while, but here I am back again with another damn video. And today we're going to do the top 10 most disappointing movies of 2024. Now, because a movie is disappointing doesn't mean that it sucks. Obviously not. I'm not saying that it's the worst movie. I'm not saying that this was pure garbaggio. I'm just saying that what I expected from this movie, it ain't what I got. So let's go ahead and get into the list, shall we? But before that, let's get into a few honorable mentions. First honorable mention is The Platform 2. Now, I love the first Platform movie, and this movie, Platform 2, wasn't really that bad. But at the same time, it basically introduced itself as a sequel, but it wasn't really a sequel. It felt like it was really a prequel. And I don't know. The movie just seemed like it didn't know what the hell it wanted to be. And it was kind of disappointing. It really didn't add much to the lore. Well, actually, it did add more to the lore, but it just didn't do anything for me. I felt like if you're going to be it didn't feel like a worthy sequel. It just didn't really add much for the franchise for me, I guess. I don't know. I thought that it would build on the previous movie, but it felt like we were just kind of explaining what happened prior. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't it was okay, but it wasn't what I thought. I was super hyped to see that movie, and it wasn't what I imagined. Speaking of Imagine, next one up is Imaginary. Now, I know when we look at Blumhouse movies, we know that Blumhouse movies are hit and miss, but this one was a complete and utter miss. Now, this is one of the exceptions where I will say that this is a disappointing movie and it's also very garbage, all right? If you guys don't know, haven't seen Imaginary, it's this movie about this family, and the girl had a freaking imaginary friend, and her imaginary friend ends up becoming basically introducing itself to like her daughter, and it turns out that this imaginary friend is a demon. But the CGI in the movie is utter garbage. The people that are acting in the movie is utter garbage. And I know that Blumhouse is hit or miss, but at the same time, this was a complete failure. Like it was really bad. I had high hopes for it because Blumhouse, again, like sometimes if it's any company that does PG-13 horror pretty well, it's Blumhouse. Blumhouse has a pretty decent track record when it comes to PG-13 horror. And I thought maybe they would be on to something when they had Megan, but then it's like they continuously keep putting out. It's like every 10 bad movies is like one good one. So let's hope they fix that track record. All right, coming in with our legit number 10, Bad Boys 4. Now, I know a lot of people enjoy Bad Boys 4. They said it was great, it was amazing, so on and so forth. Me, personally, thought it was pretty meh. Especially considering the fact that I was kind of like thinking that the last movie wasn't going to be that good, but then I highly enjoyed it. So I thought that we were going to kind of ride into this next Bad Boys movie with the same kind of impact, with the same kind of energy from the previous film. And I felt like it took a step back. Yeah, the stakes were higher, but at the same time, it just, I don't know, like the movie didn't feel like, it just didn't live up to the hype for me. I really felt like this movie was going to be bigger than what it really was. If it gives great action, Martin freaking and Will Smith do the damn thing, but at the same time, I mean, watching this movie, story wise, character development wise, I think it was pretty like mid. It was enjoyable, but it's not something that I would say that I would see myself going back to watch. I expected a lot more when I saw it, so that one was pretty damn mid. I thought I was expecting a lot more from that. Next item up for business, numero 9. We have Godzilla X Kong. Now, if you guys know me, you know that I'm a huge Godzilla fan. As you can see, King Ghidorah's over there in the corner somewhere, and all the way at the bottom, we got some Godzilla posters. But here's the idea, though. So here's where we get kind of crazy, because Godzilla X Kong, I was expecting. I mean, look, after Godzilla versus Kong, I kind of knew where they were going with it, and they had a lot of cool little Easter eggs. But knowing that Legendary's track record with original monsters isn't all that great, I was kind of worried. And reading the leaks and hearing about the leaks, I became even more worried. But then watching the movie, it's like the villain, Scar King,
Dance for us, monkey.
was not really much of a threat. It felt like he was kind of like, I got a nuclear weapon, I can use it at will. This is gonna be my backup plan. I'm gonna take over the world with this. It really felt like a Kong movie as well too. So I don't understand why Godzilla's name was even in the title. Why was his name first? It didn't feel like a Godzilla movie, but I don't know. The movie just didn't do it for me. The stakes weren't really that high, even though they tried to present it as if they were high. The cast was cool. I like the cast. This was probably some of the best human interactions we had in a Godzilla movie, but the villains didn't really do it for me. And the fact that they kind of the fact that they feel like they forced Mothra back into the movie also felt a little like I don't know, cringy at times. But that's my number. What is that, 9? Coming in at number 8, we have Trap. I believe it's a M. Night Shyamalan, whatever his name is. Trap. I refused to see this in the movie theater. I felt like it was a movie that you should watch on streaming, and I was 100% right. The movie premises sounded kind of whatever. Like, there's a killer and he goes to a concert and there's like a sting operation to try to capture him, and it's like it sounded pretty mid to begin with, but then you start to hear people talking about it like, oh, this movie was actually enjoyable, it's pretty fun to watch, you know, it's a pretty cool thriller. And you know, M. Night, he's also hit or miss, so I was like, you know what, let me get M. Night some chance, and let me try to give him an opportunity to try to showcase his ability. And I was disappointed because this movie was very mid, and I thought the storyline was pretty damn stupid. It's no way in hell that you're going to stop and keep abandoning your daughter in the middle of a show. Of course, your kids are going to be like, oh, they're into the show, they're going to keep their eyes over there. But it's crazy the amount of times he abandons his kid and how stupid some of the side characters are.
You moron! Whoa. You're a moron! You're a moron!
In the movie to allow him to get away with the shit that he gets away with. So I kind of went in thinking I was at least going to be highly entertained. I was wrong. It wasn't really that entertaining. I was kind of disappointed. I feel like M. Night definitely would have had something better up his sleeve, and I guess not. And I believe that was M. Night's daughter that was a singer in the movie. So kudos to him for like using that opportunity to try to get his daughter in front of a camera and in front of as many people as possible. But the movie sucked, so yeah. Good luck with that one, homie. Next item for business, we have The Crow, starting Bill Skarsgård. Now, I went into this movie knowing that it was probably going to suck. And the reason why I even have this on the most disappointing movie list is because after watching the movie, you see that the shit actually had potential.
What did he say?
Like, if they would have just went balls to the wall, straight up action movie, like that, how that whole last quarter of the movie is, I think that would have been a highly entertaining movie. But the fact that we had to watch this motherfucker and FKA Twigs look at each other romantically in a drug-induced daze for about 75% of the movie irritated the shit out of me. Look, we know the story of The Crow. I don't need no backstory, and I don't need you two falling in love for like 75% of the movie. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of crazy because watching the original Crow, them motherfuckers died within the first 30 minutes of the damn movie. So it's like, we didn't need to see Shelly and freaking Eric's relationship the whole fucking movie. They die, you like, damn, that's cold-blooded. And then Eric goes for his revenge. That's all I need. I don't need any of this lovey-dovey shit. I don't need y'all to be doing cracking shit in the bathroom together. I don't care. That shit really was disappointing because Bill Skarsgård is a dope-ass actor and FKA Twigs is a good musician. I mean, I don't know how her acting skills... She sure did look like a crackhead, and she played the hell out of one, but I mean, I don't know. The only reason, like I said, the only reason it's even on my disappointed list is because after watching the movie, you're like, damn, this really could have been something cool. And they dropped the ball. So kudos to them for doing that shit. Next item for business, we got Beverly Hills Cop. Fucking Eddie Murphy. I don't like Eddie Murphy. Never been a fan of Eddie Murphy. He's not funny to me like that. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? They keep rebooting these damn movies. They keep giving us like, you know, legacy sequels and shit. Let me go ahead and check it out. Who knows? You know, I might like it. Nope, I was wrong. I remember watching this shit with Jodie and X-Files and all them motherfuckers, and I was like, yo, this movie is whack. I was falling asleep. I was tired. I wanted this shit to be over. And we did a complete watch party and shit. Never again. I'm not going to put my freaking ball in the court of Eddie Murphy again. I will never do that shit again. Because that movie was a super waste of my time. The fucking comedy elements of it were whack. And the only thing that was good about that movie was the score. The whole plot was stupid. The villains in the movie were stupid. And it just felt like it felt forced, you know? And kudos to them for trying to keep the whole like 90s retro action movie type style to it, because they really tried to grasp that. But it just failed to be entertaining. Like, I like 90s action movies like that campy shit. It's cool. And they tried to kind of like encompass that. But I don't think that translates well to today's movies, you know? And I mean, it probably could, because you have like Terrifier, which has like the OG kind of film vibes and shit. And it kind of it translates to modern audiences pretty well. But at the same time, like an action movie, ooh, that's going to be a little bit hard, you know? I mean, John Wick did it. But John Wick don't fucking talk, and it has a whole lot of cool action scenes and people dying and shit. I don't think Eddie Murphy gonna be going hand in hand with people enough to keep me entertained. But that shit, it wasn't that good. The comedy wasn't all that good. It was a complete utter failure, and it was disappointing because I mean, that's a great IP. It's a good IP, you know, and it just feels like they wasted it. Next item for business. Oh, that's crazy. I actually had Imaginary in this fucking. How did I write this shit twice? Whatever. Imaginary was supposed to be here. Movie sucked. It was a Blumhouse movie. Blumhouse is hit or miss. This was a hell of a miss. Next one. Beetlejuice. Now, look. I went into this movie with some great expectations. Like, man, Beetlejuice, you know. You got Tim Burton involved. Got Michael Keaton involved. But then something was a red flag for me when that motherfucker Michael Keaton said, yeah, I want to have about the same amount of runtime I had in the first movie. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I was like, damn, so that means I'm going to have to watch freaking Wednesday Addams and fucking Winona Ryder and shit for, like, the whole movie. I was like, come on, dude. Like, I get it, you know? But I feel like they missed out on a huge opportunity for this movie. It really felt like they had a bunch of people that wanted to be involved, and Tim Burton wanted to work with a bunch of people, and he just gave them fucking roles. Like, all right, here, you know? And I get it. He tried to appease the audiences of the original film because he wanted them to feel like, okay, like, that he didn't just forget about the old characters. He still has them in the movie. We still have that attachment while we're also being introduced to new characters. But that storyline was fucking dog shit.
He's out of line, but he's right.
All right, we have two villains, two subplots going on at the same fucking time. One of the subplots wasn't that bad, which was the dead dude that wanted to basically switch roles with Lydia's daughter and shit. But then that subplot about Beetlejuice's wife, little fake ass Morticia Addams and shit, that was sucking people's souls and shit, and she was mad because I don't know that he was still alive. I don't even know what the hell she was mad about, dog. She was just mad. That shit was weak. That boss, final boss, was whack. Her demise was stupid as shit too. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you watch this movie, like, it really was like, again, it's not a terrible fucking movie, and it was cool to see like Tim Burton-esque shit. We had like the Tim Burton styles. You had the stop animation. It was really cool. You had a lot of practical and everything. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie, that shit was pretty disappointing, dog. It's pretty disappointing because it could have been a lot better. The movie that I wanted was that we should have had Astrid come across Beetlejuice, and Beetlejuice and her navigating in the afterlife like Lydia's character did in the cartoon. That would have been cool, like running around doing side quests and shit. Then you could have a little fake Morticia Addams and shit, or you got a little dead dude, notice that she's alive, and basically try to trick her into doing it. She keeps running away from Beetlejuice, and Beetlejuice like, you know, trying to find her or whatever. Like, you could have found a way to make this shit work, but you didn't. I really felt like that storyline was muddied and rushed, and I don't know, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was super disappointing, but, and man, kudos to them for at least giving it a shot. Next item up of business, we have A Quiet Place, day one. Now look, I've been really high on this franchise. Quiet Place is a really great franchise. It's one of the newer, more refreshing franchises out there. But I gotta admit, The Quiet Place day one was not what I thought it was going to be. Quiet Place 1 and Quiet Place 2, they're really high in my opinion. You know, Quiet Place 2 is a little bit below Quiet Place 1, but they're both really good movies. This one, however, was nowhere near those two movies. I thought it was going to be, and it's crazy because you have an amazing cast with Lupita Nyong'o and all the other people that they had in this damn movie. But that assistant actor, the little second lead in that damn movie, I don't know. Brother Man came out of nowhere, and honestly, I did not enjoy him at all. He felt forced, and he just was a bitch. Like, I didn't like him in the movie at all. Like,
You little bitch.
it just really felt like he just didn't belong. Like, he was thrown in there just so Lupita wouldn't be, like, alone. And he felt out of place the whole fucking movie. And it took them too long to tell us the fucking significance of the slice of fucking pizza. It is the end of the world, and this motherfucker's over here looking for this bitch looking for a pepperoni slice of pizza. Why? Just go to fucking Domino's, go to one of these other places. What is the significance of this pizza? And then you find out the significance of the pizza, and you're like, okay, cool, it makes sense, but it took too damn long for you to tell me the significance of this pizza. And that damn cat, that cat is a Destiny's Child because it is a survivor. That motherfucker got drowned. It got chased by aliens. That cat, man, she told that cat to shut the fuck up one time and then shut the fuck up the whole movie. Man, cats are defiant as shit. That cat would have meowed or did some dumb shit and would have got them all killed in real life. I don't know. That cat on some other shit. I don't know. It showed one defiant side at the beginning of the movie, and that motherfucker never meowed again. I don't believe it. But anyway, in all reality, the movie wasn't bad. Like I said, none of the movies in this list are like truly bad. They're just disappointing because it's like I really thought that The Quiet Place, you know, like you can't fuck this up. And also, I thought we were gonna get more of a backstory about what the fuck is going on with these aliens. Nothing fucking happened. We didn't even get to see the wars and shit that popped off, like them fighting the little creatures and shit. Like the shit just happened. Like you just hear the helicopters and shit, you hear the missiles go off, and then shit just gets quiet, and you're just like, dude, like nothing. Nothing is happening. Like, we don't know what the fuck is going on. And I feel like we should have got more of a... If you're going to call it Quiet Place Day 1, at least give us some sort of backstory. At least. That's a bare minimum that you could do for us. But they didn't give us none of that shit. All we got was a cancer patient running around New York looking for pizza. How crazy does that sound when you say it out loud? That's the movie that we're talking about. There is a cancer patient running around New York looking for a slice of pizza with her quiet-ass cat. Sounds dumb, right? I mean, I'm just saying. Moving on, next movie on the list, our number 2, Joker 2 is a sequel. Now, here's a problem. I love Joker 1. Joker 1 was a fucking fantastic movie, so you already knew I was hyped as shit about this movie. And then they said that this shit was going to be a musical, and I'm like, fuck. Well, maybe it's not going to be like a real musical, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's going to be like a couple of numbers or some shit. You know, you're going to have music and shit, like how they incorporate it into the first movie. Maybe it's going to be something like that. I don't think it's going to be a full-blown musical.
Nigga, please.
Man, was I fucking mistaken, because this was a full-blown fucking musical. I mean, Wicked-esque. Like, this shit was on some defying gravity shit. Like, this was a real fucking musical, and I didn't expect that shit at all. Like, at all. And the worst part about it is that 90% of the fucking songs sucked. Scratch that. 98% of the song sucks. 98%. The only song that was good was the Joker song. And I get it. You know, the reason why it sounded terrible is because they were supposed to be singing. They're not supposed to sound like real fucking singers and shit. I get it. You know, and then all of a sudden when they're in the dream sequences, they got the vocals and shit and they can sing. Cool. There's little shit about the movie that I like. It's not a fucking terrible movie. Like, everybody be like, yo, this movie garbage. And it's not garbage. All right? It's a mid-ass movie. And there's a lot of great cinematography behind it. But the problem is that this ain't the movie that we wanted. I didn't want that shit. Nobody wanted that shit. So let's get that shit out of the water now. Because this fucking movie was a huge disappointment. I thought we were just going to piggyback right off of Joker 1, go right into Joker 2, and then we're gonna see him wreck some shit. We're gonna see him embrace that, that Joker and shit. He didn't do that. This motherfucker started singing and fell in love and shit. And I get it. He's dumb. He's like a virgin and shit. He ain't never seen a woman before. He ain't never smelled a woman before. The woman that he thought was his girlfriend was apparently his girlfriend in his fucking dreams. He's an incel and shit, So I get it why he fell for the okie doke. You know what I'm saying? But this motherfucker was stupid. He pissed me off in this movie. And I get it. Again, this ain't supposed to be the real Joker, whatever. This is supposed to be like the catalyst of the real Joker, I guess. Fine. But at the same time, we cannot deny that the fact that this movie disappointed the shit out of a lot of people. It disappointed the shit out of a lot of people so much that it suffered in the box office. It was a huge fucking box office flop. And on top of that, the shit went straight to the fucking streaming like literally like 2 to 3 weeks after it came out. That is fucking terrible for a movie that made $1 billion the last time it released. If Todd Phillips was trying to flick off the studio, that's exactly what the hell he did, because he said, fuck you, and made a movie that basically he knew everybody was going to hate. Wildest shit ever. Quentin Tarantino loves it, though. But anyway, here we go with our number one. Numero uno. Are you ready? On some DX shit. Are you ready? Boom, boom. If you guys are 90 kids, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway. Longlegs.
You need to leave.
I said it. Longlegs was probably one of the most disappointing fucking movies of the year for me. Why? Because I had some high-ass expectations. I thought this movie was going to be great. I thought this was going to be like a horror classic. Boy, was I wrong. And on top of that, they was hyping the shit out of Nicolas Cage's makeup. This motherfucker came looking like a freaking... He looked like a diabetic, swollen Miss Doubtfire.
You show is ugly.
He looked terrible. And I'm like, this is supposed to be the sinister makeup that we've seen Nicolas Cage that's supposed to freak us out. This motherfucker looks stupid. He looked like Rocky in the movie The Mask with Cher. He looks dumb as shit. Face looks swollen as hell. Looked like they done beat that man with a bowling pin like Daniel Day-Lewis did, that fucking priest, and There Will Be Blood. This shit was not a good movie. And it pissed me off too, because old girl, the main lead in the movie, was from The Guest. And I love The fucking Guest. I was so disappointed with this movie. They did all of this freaking crazy promotion and shit you can call, and then he's going, happy birthday, laughing and shit in the phone. I thought it was going to be crazy. I'm seeing the trailers, one of the greatest trailers ever, because it was so vague. You didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, hell yeah, do I want to see this movie? This is going to be a classic. This is the year for horror. Hell yeah. Man, that shit sucked. I was so mad when I finished watching that movie. I was like, okay, so you're telling me that this fool done got like orbs with like black gunpowder in it or some shit, and he's somehow controlling people. He's controlling people like to do his bidding. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. That shit was dumb as hell to me. I really thought the movie was gonna be really good. I had really high expectations, and it just disappointed the shit out of me. It wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a modern day classic. I thought it was going to be the best horror movie of 2024. And that shit ain't even in my top 5, not in my top 10. I don't even know if it would be even on a top list. It can't be. Because Nicolas Cage's performance was overhyped as shit. All of that, like, praising it for being, like, hella original, wrong. I mean, I've seen shit like that before. And it wasn't what I thought it would be. You know what I mean? Like, every year we get one of the movies, and Longlegs was definitely it. I thought it was going to be a lot better than it was, but hey, I mean, the world is full of disappointments, right? Anyway, so that's my top 10 list. Let me know what you guys think. What movies will make it into your top 10 list? Yeah, I mean, I almost added Gladiator 2 to this shit, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, but I really did actually enjoy Gladiator 2. There was just some nitpicks that I felt about the movie, but I really did actually enjoy it. I really think y'all overhyping the shit out of Denzel's performance, though. But that's a conversation for another day. Anyway, so that's my top 10 list of movies that disappointed me this year. Let me know your top 10 or your top 5. Maybe you haven't been to the movies that much. Because, I mean, I wouldn't even blame you, to be honest with you. There's a lot of damn movies this year that I did not see. And there's a lot of movies that I didn't want to see. So I wouldn't even blame you. This was a whack-ass year for movies. So the movies that I did see, these are the ones that freaking disappointed me. But this is probably the one year where I feel like I had the most disappointing. Like after watching a movie, like I feel like I had to force myself to just make up shit to be like, oh yeah, that was cool. Especially if I wasted money on it. If I wasted money on it, I really felt like I had to like somehow like compensate for like why the movie was good. So it is what it is. Look, that's my list. Let me know if you agree or disagree, whatever the case may be. Drop a comment in the comment section down below. And you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys are having a great day, and adios, homies.
I want to play a game. Subscribe now. The choice is yours. You're now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop.